Someone told you to just get over it. Maybe they said it directly. Maybe they just went quiet when you brought it up, the way people go quiet when they think you are being dramatic. Maybe nobody said anything at all. They just moved on. And you were left alone with a grief that felt enormous, carrying it quietly because the world around you had already decided it was not that serious. You lost a pet, not a person. So apparently it should not hurt this much. Here is what the science actually says. The same regions of your brain that activate when you lose a human being, a parent, a partner, a friend, activate in exactly the same way when you lose a pet. The neurological pain is not similar. It is not almost the same. It is the same. What you went through, what you are still going through, is not an overreaction. It is not weakness. It is not you being too attached to an animal. It is grief. Documented, measurable, neurologically verified grief. And the world telling you to get over it faster is not just unkind. According to researchers, it is biologically wrong. Welcome to Paws&Psych, the science of what your pet does to your mind. To understand why pet loss hits this hard, we need to start inside the brain. Because the answer begins there, and it begins long before your pet dies. A study published in the journal Advanced Science used EEG technology to measure brain activity in both humans and their dogs during interaction. What the researchers found changed how scientists understand the human-pet bond completely. When a dog and their owner make eye contact, especially combined with physical touch, their brain activity begins to synchronize. Not metaphorically. Not as a poetic way of describing closeness. Literally. The neural oscillations of the human brain and the dog's brain begin to align and move together. And the longer the relationship, the stronger the synchronization. By the 5th day of the study, the level of brain coupling between owners and their dogs was significantly stronger than it was on day 1. The bond does not just feel deeper over time. It is measurably, neurologically deeper. This matters for grief because of what it means when that bond is suddenly severed. When your pet dies, your brain does not register the loss the way it would register losing a possession, or losing a habit, or losing a job. Your brain registers it the way it would register losing a person whose neural patterns had become intertwined with your own. Neuroimaging studies confirm this directly. The areas of the brain that activate in response to the loss of a pet are the same areas triggered by the death of a human loved one. The pain is processed in the same regions, through the same neural pathways, with the same biological weight. This is not a metaphor. Your brain does not distinguish between these two griefs in the way the world expects it to. And that is why the pain does not feel proportional to what society tells you it should be. It is proportional to the bond that actually existed. Beyond the brain scan, there is a biochemical story happening in your body during pet grief that most people have never been told. When your pet was alive, every interaction with them triggered a release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Every moment of eye contact. Every time they settled beside you. Every walk, every routine, every unremarkable Tuesday evening on the couch. Your brain was releasing a steady, consistent supply of the chemical that signals safety, connection, and love. This was not occasional. This was daily. For months, for years, sometimes for a decade or more. When your pet dies, that supply stops. Not gradually. Immediately. The brain that had been receiving regular oxytocin from that specific bond suddenly has none. And the withdrawal is real, in the same biological sense that any withdrawal from a consistent chemical source is real. Research on pet grief confirms that the sudden loss of oxytocin is one of the primary biochemical drivers of the intense emotional pain that follows. You are not just sad. Your brain chemistry has been disrupted. At the same time, cortisol, your stress hormone, rises sharply. The body enters a sustained stress state that is physically exhausting. This is why grief is not just an emotional experience. It is a physical one. The disrupted sleep, the loss of appetite, the tiredness that arrives before you have done anything, the way your body feels hollowed out. That is not you being dramatic. That is the documented physiological response to a genuine biochemical loss. and the intensity of this response is directly tied to the strength of the bond. Research consistently shows that the deeper the attachment, the more central the pet was to daily routine and emotional life, the more significant the biological disruption when that attachment ends. Now here is the part that makes pet grief uniquely painful. And it is not the loss itself. It is what happens after. The term that researchers use is disenfranchised grief. It was first defined by grief researcher Kenneth Doka to describe grief that is not openly acknowledged, publicly mourned, or socially supported. Grief that exists, that is real and present and devastating, but that society has decided does not deserve the same recognition as other grief. Pet loss is one of the most common forms of disenfranchised grief in the world. When a person loses a human, the world responds. There are rituals. There is bereavement leave. People bring food. They check in. They say the right things, or they try to. The grieving person is surrounded by acknowledgement that what they are going through is serious and real. When a person loses a pet, the world often responds differently. You might be told it was just a dog. It was just a cat. You can always get another one. You should be over it by now. And the cruelest part is that many people internalize these messages. They begin to feel ashamed of their own grief. They hide it. They pretend to be fine faster than they are fine. They carry the loss in silence because showing it feels embarrassing. A 2025 systematic review published in PMC found that this lack of social acknowledgement and support is one of the most significant factors in prolonged and complicated pet grief. When people cannot openly mourn, when they cannot speak about their loss without being dismissed, the grief becomes heavier, not lighter. Research from a 2025 study published in PMC on pet loss grief in college students found that when people experience disenfranchised grief, when they have no social recognition for what they are going through, high levels of deliberate rumination intensify the grief significantly. The loss does not fade. It compounds. The world's dismissal of your pain is not helping you grieve faster. According to the science, it may be making you grieve harder and longer. Something that research on pet grief captures that is rarely spoken about publicly is this. When a pet dies, you do not just lose the animal. You lose the identity you had as their person. The role of caregiver, of the one who feeds them, walks them, notices when they are unwell, knows their particular sounds and behaviors, disappears overnight. And with it, a significant piece of your daily sense of purpose and self. Researchers describe this as identity disruption, the loss of who you were in relationship to your pet. You were someone's owner, someone's companion, someone the animal needed and knew. And that version of you, the one that existed inside that specific relationship, no longer has a place to live. On top of this, a 2025 systematic review on continuing bonds after pet loss found that owners can experience similar levels of grief as when a human dies, and that the loss extends beyond the emotional into the deeply structural. The daily routines that organize your life around your pet, the morning walk, the feeding time, the specific corner of the couch, are now empty in a way that is impossible to ignore. Researchers also identify what they call secondary losses. You do not just lose your pet. You lose the way you used to come home, the way you used to sleep, the way the house used to sound, the person you talked to when nobody else was available, the one who was always there when you walked through the door. Every one of those losses is real. Every one of them is documented. And they do not all arrive at once. They surface at different times, sometimes months after the death, as you encounter each empty corner of the life you used to share. The most common question people carry silently after losing a pet is this one: how long is this supposed to last? And the honest, research-based answer is, longer than the world tells you it should. Analysis of one of the first pet loss support hotlines found that the average grieving period after pet loss exceeded 1 year. Not days. Not weeks. Over a year. A 2025 study published in Science Direct examined 123 pet owners who had experienced pet loss and found significant positive correlations between grief intensity and variables including the strength of the owner's attachment to the pet, the suddenness of the death, and feelings of exclusion from end-of-life decisions. If you made a decision about your pet's final days and you are carrying guilt about that decision, research says that guilt is extremely common, and it is a documented part of the grief process. It does not mean you did the wrong thing. It means you loved them enough that every decision felt enormous. The research also consistently identifies specific groups who are at higher risk for prolonged grief after pet loss: women, people who live alone, and those who had the deepest attachment to their animal. If you fall into any of these categories and your grief has lasted longer than you expected, you are not unusual. You are in a well-documented population whose experience the science takes seriously, even when the people around you do not. There is no correct timeline. There is no point at which your grief becomes wrong or excessive. The timeline is proportional to the bond. And the bond was real. If you have lost a pet, at any point in your life, and you were told to move on faster than you were ready to, or you felt ashamed of how much it hurt, or you found yourself hiding your grief because the world around you had decided it was not that serious, the science is on your side. Your brain processed that loss through the same neural pathways as human grief. Your body went through a genuine biochemical withdrawal. The pain was not disproportionate. It was exactly proportional to a bond that was neurologically, hormonally, and emotionally real. You did not grieve too much. You were never given enough permission to grieve at all. At Paws&Psych, this is what we do. We take the science that explains your relationship with your pet, even after they are gone, and we make sure you hear it. Subscribe. Because in our next video, we are going to look at something that connects everything this channel has covered so far. What your morning routine with your pet is actually doing to your mental health, before you say a single word to another human being. The research on this one will make your ordinary morning look completely different.